now we're in.
Hell yeah.
We're doing it.
What's up, Rich?
Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Cheers.
Cheers, dude.
Thank you.
In a second.
I know. Chris Metcalf also left 2 cigars here.
Did he really?
Yeah, I thought I was going skiing. He's like, "Oh, take these cigars." I was like, "Why'd you?"
Is he just like the go-go gadget of drugs? He just like opens up his coat and like whatever you need in the moment.
He does have rolling papers at all times. I don't even know what he's rolling in because he has nothing to roll into the papers.
Nothing at all. Yeah, he just has them.
He just has.
He carries around like we carry around bottles of water. It's the same kind of thing. It just kind of keeps you going in the middle of the afternoon.
But I'll tell you, he's always moving around. This guy.
Chris has a lot of energy.
He's got a lot of energy.
He has a lot of energy. He is the king of wearing like loose, unbuttoned, button-down shirts whilst handing me a joint. And I'm like, hell yeah, this is like a businessman losing his mind, but I love him so much.
Well, it makes sense. He's a Bergen Catholic kid.
Yeah, I know.
And then he went to QU.
What's QU?
Quinnipiac.
Oh, really?
Apparently, that's not a known thing.
That he went to QU?
No, just calling it.
Oh, that it's a thing?
Yeah. Believe it or not, Jack.
No one knows that Chris Metcalf went to QU.
If you go to that beer garden downstairs and you go, "Excuse me, do any of you know where Chris Metcalf went to school?"
If I just scream out SUNY and how many like heads turn around. That was a cool, that bar, it's like an Apple store for alcoholics. It was cool. It was kind of nice. It was like a lot of like, all the lamps had that very much like iPhone glow to them. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
It's a very artificial glow.
Yeah, it's a very artificial glow.
I don't know what they're going for down there.
No, you know why? Because like most of it, and this is just like walking, but like most of it was like very like chic, and I'm like, all right, this is like, we're downtown. There's like a cool bar, but then just the occasional swing, and I'm like, decide what you are. Like, are you like the sleek cool bar, or are you the place with swings and AstroTurf?
Right.
And they like can't decide, and those are 2 very different vibes of a bar coming together at one time.
Right. It's like when you walk by a place, it's like Indian and Mexican.
Yeah, you're like, that's not what we meant by Tex-Mex. Like Tex-Mex like took the ground on that kind of thing. You can't just like improv off it.
And also the swings are next to each other.
Yeah, it's meant yeah, they're like the swing, but the weirder thing, the swings are next to the tables that like you could have a meeting at. You know what I mean? There's like you could have a meeting at the table, and then next you could just be a bunch of 25-year-olds like, I've never drank while moving before, like, and do that in the swing. Like, I've been to swing bars and they're fun. I've just never seen them like mixed in with like the sleek Wall Street bar.
Wait, you've been to swing bars?
No, well, no, that probably is a whole other goddamn thing.
Film it. I didn't know. I mean, the mustache is there.
I grew up in suburban New Jersey, just not 1978. Like, but like, no, I've been to the bars that are like pretty much a football field, and then just kind of like playgrounds where you drink on, essentially. They have a lot of that. There was one in Boston I went to that was everyone just drank on tire swings. Like, I know that brand of bar. It's just funny seeing it mixed in. With
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know what that brand of bar is.
Really?
A tire swing? Bar filled with a variety of swings?
Yes. It's pretty much like, it's like a bar. I know there's one in Dumbo. I forget what it's called.
A swing bar?
It's a bar where, because when you say swing bar, it makes, like, you know what I mean?
There's a dirty connotation.
It's like there's a fishbowl connotation to that.
I was going to bring up a fishbowl.
But it's like it's like a bar that's like a big open area. There's a bar, and then there's like AstroTurf, and then just like weird shit, like a picnic table. There's a few picnic tables, but there's always like a swing and people are drinking on swings.
Okay,
they exist. They're out there. I remember there was one in Boston I know I went to, and I know there's one in Dumbo because the bar I used to work at opened up a location there, and there was a lot of tire swings involved. Okay, it's not exclusively tire swings, but there's like a lot of like regular tables. But then if you want to get fucked up on a tire swing, that's also available to you.
Are there seesaws as well?
Yeah.
Are you seriously?
Yeah, there's like.
I think this is just a playground at Dumbo.
It's a play, dude. It's just people have learned that no one wants to grow up, so it's like, it's like, hey, so none of you have matured, but you still want to drink. Come here, and that's what those bars are. It's just funny seeing it mixed in down there with like the sleek, like, hey, we are 28 and we're acting that way kind of bar. You know what I mean?
Right. What? I haven't seen you in forever. What have you?
While,
like,
dude.
What have you been up to?
Dude, same shit. Not a lot.
Are you still working? You're working at NBC?
Yeah, working at NBC. Still doing that job.
Okay.
Better shift now, which is cool.
You were working
when you knew
Hoda
me, I was on overnights.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was
you would do a
crazy
show at like midnight.
Yeah,
I would go to a diner.
I would do a show at my shift was I would work 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. So I used to like see you at like mics and stuff before I went to work. Now I have a little more sane. I work like 5 a.m. to like noon and 1.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. I like it a lot.
Is this the Today Show? Are you the Today Show shift?
I'm on Morning Joe. if you know of that show.
Oh, you're a CNBC.
I'm MSNBC.
Oh, that's MSNBC.
CNBC is the business people who I don't.
Okay.
I've never worked at. Have I worked at? I don't know. They're all the same building. They use the same rooms. But like, yeah, I'm on a show called Morning Joe, and I just do Morning Joe, and then I'm done. But it's a weird show, and I don't. It's weird.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a show that everyone's like kind of heard of, and like a few people I meet are like, oh, I love that show, and they're always like 40 to 60 years old and like drunk at 1 p.m. But like,
Well, that's when your shift ends.
It's when my shift ends, and then people are like, well, I don't have that anymore. But yeah, it's cool. I love my job. It lets me do all the crap I want to do, but it's weird being involved in that like 24/7 political news thing like all the time.
Do you have to be on? Because it seems like they have to be on.
They have to be way more on than I do, which is a skill I didn't appreciate until I worked in this kind of thing. Like I do my job, but I can do my job. We're working from home still, so I'm like in a hoodie, tired at 5 a.m. doing the news out of my bedroom, which is fucking weird.
How's that work? What part of the news are you responsible for?
I'm responsible for the graphics. So my job is when you watch the news, anything that's on screen that's not the anchor's face, I put on screen.
It's pretty good.
That's my job.
You're doing a good job.
Hey, thank you. Try my best. But like you appreciate like there's a woman named Hoda Kotb who I always reference. Do you know Hoda?
Yeah, I know Hoda.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wait, she's doing Morning Joe?
No, she's not doing Morning Joe.
Her and Kathy are sipping wine at 10.
Dude, first of all, Kathy left. Which
Kathy
is a tragedy.
left?
You didn't know Kathy left?
No,
you
I haven't kept tabs on Kathy.
Kathy decided she wanted to work even less, and I think moved to Florida and did whatever.
Focused on her singing career.
She's making a lot of like religious movies. I think I'm not even kidding. Like because I've worked on Today Show every once in a while, and when she was leaving, she was like, we would always be promoting like her new movie that was about her and Christ. Or whatever, like Hallmark movies, but just like Kathy Lee Gifford, essentially.
How does she have the budgeting for this?
Because she's been working on Today Show for. She's
raking it
They're
in.
paying her.
Really,
yeah. Dude. I mean, and then she was. People forget she was Regis's first fucking co-host.
I don't forget.
Never forget.
I never forgot.
Never forget.
Two things I don't forget: 9/11 and Kathy Lee was the co-host.
And I think she had like an 8-year. I don't know when she started working on Today Show, but it wasn't that long of a difference. Also, her husband who died is Frank Gifford.
Giants QB.
So she's got like the NFL money also coming in. She's doing well. Kathy's doing good for himself.
She's still getting NFL money from gifts?
I guarantee she is. She must. It's some kind of, I don't know.
Isn't there a substantial age gap between those two as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, look, there was a substantial age gap, but she would consistently bring him up with like very like
on screen or off?
She loved that dude. Both. That's
really?
why you knew it was genuine. Because, like, on screen, she'd talk about it. And then in commercial breaks, she'd be like, you know what Frank used to always say? And then, like, she fucking loved that dude. I don't know. They seem like it worked. Look, I respect the fucking hell out of Kathy Lee Gifford. That woman has made a career out of just having fun. Just having, like, the best guy.
Just having big blonde hair.
And big blonde hair, big blonde personality at 11 a.m. every morning.
Right.
Drinking. She designed a whole show around drinking wine at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, at my job, where every other show I work on, is just so like, what does this mean for the country? Like, what are we going to do about whatever the fuck? Then at 10 a.m., Kathy Lee and Hoda Kotb get on air and just like review makeup with a drink in their hand.
At 10 a.m.
And at 10 a.m. And I'm like, you know what? You're injecting joy into the world. Like, I loved working on that show. It was so much fun.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know if you know the answers to this, but you might see the paperwork behind the scenes.
Okay, go ahead.
What ethnicity is Hoda Kotb?
I know this.
Oh, you do know this?
I've definitely, I have known
don't think
this.
she brings it up.
No, she doesn't bring it up. I think I'm going to mess this up. I'm pretty sure she's,
is it Kotb or Copy?
It's Kotb. It's Hoda Kotb.
Oh, Kotb.
I think Hoda Kotb. That's how I've always said
That's
it.
a tough one.
It's a tough one. I think I want to say it's like Moroccan. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. I don't know that much about Moroccans. I was gonna say like Pakistan. I don't know. I don't know.
Kotb.
All I know is that she's really good at her job, and she should have. I've never seen, because she works hours that are like the hours I work, and I work just looking really depressed all the time. Hoda, I've seen her in the office where she is just like, she is 100% good to go, ready to go, positive energy all the time, 5 a.m.
Because she's yipped.
She's whatever the hell she is, dude. You should get all the money for that, because I don't know how the hell you maintain that for 4 hours every morning, but she does.
Wait, how long is this show?
She does now. She does the Today Show is What time does today's show start? I think today's show starts at 7 a.m.
Okay.
She recently was fairly recently named like the co-anchor of the main Today Show. So she does 7 a.m., 8 a.m. I think she gets an hour off, and then she still does the Kathy Lee and Hoda
She gets
show.
lunch.
She gets an hour lunch. But that's 3 hours of having to be positive no matter what's going on in your life every day. And I'm like, fucking God.
I don't think anyone in America
Take how
can do
many
that.
millions of dollars you could take. Like, I could never do it.
Interesting.
I get to be a grumpy ass little turtle at my job.
But you
can't be.
remote though.
But I'm remote now.
That ain't bad.
But even when I was in the building, I was a grumpy ass little turtle.
A little turtle.
We all were. When you're walking around the building at 5 a.m., everyone's just pissed off. Like, no one's happy.
What show did you cover at 1?
That was called Early. That was called Early Today.
They
And
really
that
don't
was-
think of creative names for these shows.
No, they don't do. No, I'm currently working on a show. Well, I don't actually anymore, but there's a show on at 5 a.m. before morning show, and it's just called Way Too Early.
Is that really what
It's
it's called?
literally what it's called.
That's good.
And they're just like, it is.
That's
And
on-
that's
that's on
what they do. Yeah, it was called Early Today, and that was a show. They don't even have my job. They automated my job for that show, so it doesn't even exist. My job doesn't exist on that show anymore.
Why? Why?
Because it's easy. Like, that show specifically is like really scripted, so my whole job is slowly getting replaced by machines.
Well, that's America.
As America
Right.
is. But that show particularly, because it's like, it's very like scripted. There's no improvisation, so they can just have a robot do it.
Okay.
So now a robot does it. But like, thank God I'm not doing it anymore. That
Yeah.
sucked. I hate
At those hours.
Those
a robot
hours
can
were-
have it at those hours.
a robot can do those hours.
Let me ask you, how, and I can't tell through the TV.
Yeah.
So maybe you've seen this in person.
Sure.
Is Carson Daly charming?
Ooh, is Carson Daly charming?
Because he
No.
was never to me.
I think Carson Daly, to be honest with you, and there are people. I think he's genuinely a great guy. Carson Daly, when you see
What
him
does that
around-
mean?
Here's what it
define
means.
great guy to me.
There are people who are, and I can't name names because I will get fired. But there are people who are on screen.
Keep
who
going.
are-
I'm just making sure the camera's working.
No, go ahead. There are people who are on screen who are very friendly and awesome, and you're like, that guy's so charming and great. And
Right.
then the second the cameras turn off, they become the most despicable human beings on earth that you don't want to be around. Carson Daly, and Hoda also falls into this category.
Yes.
Is someone I've seen interact with like cameramen and like food guys, and like is a nice guy.
Okay.
Having said that, he's not 22-year-old Carson, or whatever
TRL
age
Carson
TRL
Daly.
Carson Daly was. I don't think that spark is still there.
But he has that same energy.
He's got the same energy. He does the pop culture segments. He can do it. But there was something to that, like 1998 spiked hair thing that I think you just can't get back. I don't even think it's age. I don't even think it's personality. I think it's just he was like in the strike zone of 2000 or whatever the hell.
Right,
that
he
year
was in the eye of the storm
He was
there.
nailing it, and he was like perfect for it. And now he's a dad. He's a little chiller. There's less of that like 24-year-old. I need to talk to Mariah Carey energy. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're like,
Do you think it's because he's away from Windows now?
yeah, because he's not overlooking Times Square anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that might be it. He's less inspired by the billboards around 30 Rock than he is around that Times Square.
Yeah.
He only had to move 2 blocks over to start his new job, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. He's a good dude, but like that TRL, that prime TRL Carson Daly, that's a nice thing.
I was never a TRL fan.
I think I was too young for it.
Same.
I think
We're
we
the same.
missed it.
You're 28, right?
Yeah, I'm 28.
Yeah, so am I.
I think we missed it. We were too young for that.
I know. What was the big thing? I guess like Jersey Shore was the big thing for MTV. If we're gonna talk MTV,
If you're gonna talk MTV,
that was probably
Jersey
the
Shore.
biggest. But
Dude, that was a
Room
big
Raiders. I love the Room Raiders.
Dude,
app.
also like Cribs.
Cribs.
Was that MTV?
Yeah,
That was MTV?
it came back for a cup of coffee.
Did it really come
Yeah.
out for a cup of coffee?
Yeah, it would play after Siesta Key season 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Why'd they end Cribs? Cribs was great. Or people were just done like doing it? Like,
No, I guess because people had cell phones then.
Right.
And they were like, I could kind of just do this myself. And they're like, oh,
Right,
yeah, I
that's
guess.
a good
I guess so, huh?
I actually do this on Instagram every single day. I
Right.
don't need like someone to show me Cribs.
I'll need a stranger in my house to do all
That's
this.
so funny. Yeah, I don't know. I think we had Cribs. Jersey Shore was a huge. How big of a deal was Jersey Shore in your high school?
It's a pretty big deal.
Because in Jersey, it literally transformed my high school.
It transformed. It.
Like Italian kids started acting like Jersey Shore Italians.
Well, where are you from?
I'm from Springfield, which is in Union County. So I'm from like North Jersey, 10 miles from like 10 minutes from the Newark airport is where I'm from.
Okay.
And it was a very heavily Italian town, but there was as Jersey Shore was happening, I think it premiered when I was like a freshman in high school. It like it just became affliction t-shirts. There was a transition that was made. It was like it was almost like Staten Island, because most of the people are from Staten Island, right? On Jersey Shore.
If you want to actually break down the
Go
geographical
ahead.
breakup
Please
of
do.
Jersey Shore. Okay, so where do you want to start off? So the situation is from Manalapan.
Okay.
Okay. Polly D, Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay. Still no Jersey.
Still no, well, Manalapan.
Oh, Manalapan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ronnie, Bronx.
Okay.
Vinny, Staten Island.
Wow.
Snooky, Poughkeepsie.
Ooh.
J-Wow, Long Island girl.
Really?
Also Irish.
What?
J-Wow.
JWoww's Irish?
Yeah, Farley or something.
What? Really?
Yeah,
Wait, her
yeah.
last name's like it was JWoww Farley?
Yeah, Jenny.
Like
Her legal name is.
my middle name
Is it
was
Jennifer Wow?
My middle name was my grandfather's name. Jennifer Wow Farley. Wow. I guess she. I mean, God, she's Irish.
She's
but still,
Irish, I'm
you have
sorry to
that's a
tell you.
majority Long Island, New York, and then Providence, Rhode Island is kind of random out
Yeah,
of
that
there.
was a random one. I mean, but he's the most successful. They saw something in him.
Yeah, and you know what? He always was. Like, Vinny was the guy who you
knew.
saw where you're like, this guy is the most normal out of all these people.
Yeah.
He's the one who could, like, I would hang out with Vinny. Like, Vinny,
still would.
I absolutely, dude, Vinny was all my friends in high school. Like, I could hang out with Vinny all day long.
Okay.
The other ones were the ones where there were the kids in high school who, like, I don't want to fight you now. I don't want to fight you ever. Please stop trying to fight me. Like, but Vinny seemed like a kind of chill guy. I get that. Vinny's cool. But like, yeah, it was like, it was mostly New York representation. And then in Jersey, it was like all the kids in my high school started trying to reflect that. And it became the dominant culture. It kind of became what people did.
Yeah, I guess. I don't, because I'll be honest with you. I'm not familiar with Springfield.
No one
I'm not
is.
familiar with Union County.
You're not familiar with one of the most biggest turning points in the Battle of the Revolutionary War, the Battle of Springfield?
No, I haven't read a
Oh
book.
man, Jesus! You don't know James Caldwell? You don't know Molly Pitcher? It's all we were
Wait, Molly
preached growing
Pitcher,
up.
yeah.
Molly Pitcher.
There's a poem about her, or a
Yeah,
rhyme
she
or
is.
something.
Molly Pitcher was the wife of James Caldwell. James Caldwell was from Springfield, and my elementary school was called James Caldwell.
Look at that.
And Molly Pitcher, I don't know if she was at the Battle of Springfield, but James Caldwell was, at least. Everything in my town was like, remember this Revolutionary War battle? And no one else remembers it. There's no reason.
Like, no, but we got it.
No, it happened. The place where it happened is now a ShopRite.
Is it really?
It's a
Dude,
shop.
I love
Because
ShopRite.
there's like this church that is the only thing that's maintained from that time. And like, there's like a ShopRite across the street. And that's where they're like, this is where we used to take field trips to the ShopRite. And they'd be
Used
like,
to go to-
this is where this is where our ancestors fought for freedom. And I'm like, well, this is where I buy chicken at a kind of okay price. And it's true. So it was like, that was kind of, I don't know, that was my town. Springfield, the other thing about my town is that it's just a roadway in between better towns. So like, there's these towns around us called Union, Summit, Westfield, Milburn. And
Summit I've heard of.
everyone always knows one of them. Like, as someone knows Union or Summit or Union or
Well, Union's a city, correct me if I'm wrong.
There's Union City,
Oh,
which is
boy.
another thing.
All
Union
right.
City is more north, like near like Weehawken and stuff.
Okay.
Union, just the town of Union, is right near me. So everyone always knows those towns, but Springfield, it's a drive-through town at this point. Although we have a giant golf course, it takes up like 95% of our town, and they have like the U.S. Open there every so often.
Okay, so you got a golf course, a ShopRite, and a
We have a
church.
golf course, a ShopRite, a church, and then just a bunch of highways, and that's kind of what we got.
I think that's what people think of Jersey.
We're
You have
pretty
a Wawa?
we're no yes now. They just opened one. Like, they opened one
There
a
we go.
year ago, like down the street from my house, and I was so pissed because I was like, this would have really come in handy when I was stoned in 16, and then you just like show it up when I'm 28 and can't use it anymore, and I'm like, fuck you.
No, you can still use it.
I still use it again, but oh man, because in New Jersey we had, I don't know about you, but we had nothing to do in high school, nothing besides drive around in cars and like go get food.
You didn't have a house party culture?
We had house parties, but the houses were too close together, so they got busted by the cops every single time.
Really?
To the point where we almost weren't allowed to walk at graduation because we had too many parties busted by the police.
What's the threshold of too many parties?
I have no idea. Also, my high school was 500 kids total. My graduating
Really?
class was 100. So, like,
And you went to public school in
yeah,
Jersey?
and I went to public school in Jersey. We had
Where the fuck are you from?
from fucking
Yeah,
Springfield,
Springfield,
dude. It's
man.
a ghost town, bro. The reason that was is because Springfield used to be bigger, and then they broke it up, I guess, in the 90s, so we just got left with the smallest high school. So, like, all of our parties got busted. We weren't able to have house parties, so we would just, get high and drive around. We used to go to Sonic. That was our big activity.
I knew you were a Sonic town.
I was a Sonic kid, dude.
I swear to Christ, I was going to say, this town sounds like a Sonic town.
It's a Sonic town. You get on Route 22, you go to Sonic. That kills like an hour and a half. And, like, that's a great Friday night, dude.
This town sounds very much like the town from Matthew McConaughey. High school girls stayed the same age.
Oh, yeah, but their lives
Dazed
are
and
cool.
Confused.
Dazed and Confused. But their lives seem more fun, even.
I mean, yeah, Ben Affleck was there, but at the same time, it seems like the same culture.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Small town culture.
I grew up in, like, have you ever seen Clerks?
Yes.
I grew up in Clerks.
Okay.
Like, that is exactly where I grew up.
Just
like,
Americana.
Just kind of like 7-Elevens and fucking smoking weed in weird river basins.
What was the fake ID? I was going to say clause, but that's not the word I'm looking for. What was the culture around fake IDs there? Because I have a feeling it was loose.
Well, first of all, I never went out to bars in high school.
Oh, no, this is more of a buying beer question.
But I know we got one shipment of fake IDs when I was a senior. It came too late. We used to go. Wait, now you're reminding me because we used to go to this place near Elizabeth. That was called like Discount Liquor, and that was the place where we used fake IDs.
Yep.
There was another place on the edge of Route 22, like pretty much on the Garden State Parkway, where you could get away with it. Okay. Everywhere in my town actually was pretty strict, but we all got one giant shipment of fake IDs my senior year. It came from China in
ID chief?
Yep.
Yeah.
I did. Wow, that phrase just came from the back of my memory.
Boom, we're back in 2011.
We're back in 2011, baby. Let's go to an MGMT concert.
Yeah.
Dude, ID chief, and we got them in like a box of baby shoes.
Yeah, I got it in chopsticks with mine.
Dude, I will never
metal chopsticks.
Dude, I was from Monroe, Connecticut, 80 Kettle Creek Lane, 06040.
Oh wow.
08468. Yeah. That will never leave my head. Like,
wait, what state?
Connecticut. I was Monroe.
I was a Connecticut guy.
I was Monroe, Connecticut, 80 Kettle Creek Lane, 06468. That was
wow.
I will never forget that. And my birthday was January 19th, 1991.
Wow,
dude, that
That's
will
very
never
impressive.
leave my head. Because once I went to college in Wisconsin, that I was the only kid on my floor with a fake ID somehow.
Same as me.
So I became the fucking alcohol mule, and I was really good at at delivering.
Because I was the de facto mule as well.
Yeah.
I would bring a duffel bag to Varsity Liquors, and at the time I was like, this is an efficient way to carry back a lot of alcohol.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, why did no one stop me?
Because you had what I had, which I had a backpack that was just shaped like a bunch of bottles sticking out of it. Like the bottles would poke out, so it looked like my backpack looked like the Game of Thrones chair, because it just had like a bunch of shit poking out of it. It was clear that I was just carrying like 8 bottles of liquor home from the liquor store.
But how do you? I'm coming into your liquor store. You're the cashier. I have a duffel bag with me.
Yeah.
With a Connecticut ID, and I'm in Cortland, New York.
Yeah.
Are there no red flags?
I had an arrangement with the woman.
Oh.
I was in Madison, Wisconsin, and I used to go to this liquor store that was it wasn't downtown, so it wasn't one of the popular ones. I would like go out to kind of the boondocks.
It's a city.
It's a
Madison.
city.
Madison's a city.
People forget Madison's a city, and like State Street's the main street, whereas like that's where like the university is. And I would walk into like it was called the sophomore slums because it was just a bunch of buildings that were fire hazards. Good. And I'd go to this liquor store that was like a mile and a half from the dorm, and I'd walk there. And there was a woman there, and she knew that I was underage, but she would sell me everything. And then at the end of my freshman year, they changed owners. And I walked in, and the owner was there. She was still behind the counter. And he looked at my ID long and fucking hard, put it down, walked away. She sold me the liquor I was buying, and she looked at me and went, I can't help you anymore. I'm sorry.
She broke up with you.
She broke up with me.
I've never heard of a liquor store breakup before.
I got broken up by my liquor store cashier. She was like, look, I want to help you, man, but I can't help you anymore.
That is one of the trashiest things I've ever heard.
It was so trashy.
A liquor store breakup.
It was a liquor store breakup. And I walked home kind of dejected. I got, later on, I got a drinking ticket the next year because I didn't have my liquor store anymore.
So where did you go?
She was my safe haven. I had it once I moved out of the dorms. There was a new place I went to where I watched this fucking kid. So at this point, I was a junior, I think. Yeah, I was a junior. So I watched this kid. I was in line, but I'm a junior, so I look a little older. I'm pretty close to turning 21.
Right.
Like, I'm not, whatever. This kid was like 18, but a young 18. Like, he was clearly a freshman and then looked like he was 15.
Yes.
And he was shaking in his fucking boots. And I'm like, this kid's an amateur.
You need confidence.
I had so much confidence when I used to do it. This kid walked up like, "Oh, hi, sir." And the guy asked him, "What year did you graduate high school?" And the kid said 1983. And I watched the guy just laugh.
1983.
He said he apparently didn't prepare for the answer, what year did you graduate high school, which is Family Feud #1 question they give you. And like the kid was like 1983, and I watched him, like the guy like just laughed and like threw his card back at him. I went up, did my fake ID thing, crushed it, walked around the corner, got pulled over by a cop who was staking out the store.
Fuck.
And just like they gave me a drinking ticket. But like in college, especially in Madison, which is a huge school, it was such just a way for them to make money. They didn't give a fuck.
Right.
She took my backpack and found my bong, and she was like, "Well, you were nice, so I'm not going to charge you for this."
Yeah, well,
Shouldn't have walked into a liquor store with your bong in your backpack, Jack, but, you know.
yeah, but like, where else am I going to have it?
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
Man. I'm saying, like, if it's always in my backpack, it's always in my backpack.
But is Madison, because Madison, it is very much a city, but is it, like, what part of it is a college town? Because I went to college in a college town that needs the college to support itself.
Yeah, gotcha.
Madison does not need that. It's the state capital.
That's true.
So how was the relationship with the cops?
With the cops?
Yeah, like how did that all? Did they raid the bars?
No.
Like what's going on there?
A lot of Madison is, this is gonna go into, but like it has a lot of it's based on its geography. So Madison's an isthmus, which is not a word you've heard since 5th grade.
An isthmus, like
an isthmus,
like an archipelago.
It is a strip of land between two bodies of water.
Okay.
So there are two lakes in Madison. There's Mendota and Monona, which are very badly named, but like blame the Native Americans who we stole the land from. So
fucking idiots.
There's the isthmus. The isthmus is basically in between the two lakes. It's one road, main road on the isthmus. That's called State Street. That's the main street. Then there's the Capitol building. So that's like, and it looks like, if you've ever seen it, it looks like the U.S. Capitol. On one side of the Capitol, towards the lakes, is where all the university is. On the other side of the Capitol is where the normal people are. It's just split by the Capitol. So on the university side, the cops don't really give a shit or do much. They tried to like they shut down this thing called Mifflin when I was there, which Mifflin was a street that was in like the student housing area. And it started as a Vietnam War protest in Madison in like the 70s, and it just became a blackout street party by the time I went there.
Good.
But the cops tried to shut it down. And they did my freshman year. They like shut it down, and the university ordered or organized a alternate concert, which no one went to because we were like, that's fucking lame. We want to go to Mifflin. If you're not having Mifflin, we're not going to your fucking concert. Right. In hindsight, it was the craziest lineup you could have ever.
Who was it?
It was like Chance, the rapper.
Oh, wow.
Like
when he was good.
Like acid rap Chance. Yes. Like before he blew up too. He was doing like the Student Union. I think it was like A$AP Rock. It was like a crazy lineup of people before they got big. And none of us went to it because we were just like, fuck the police.
We want to drink on the street.
Yeah, we want to drink in the street. It literally got shut down because the year before, one of the football players got like kicked by a cop horse. So he was out for the season, and they were like, "Well, football brings in the most money here, so we can't have Russell Wilson getting knocked out by a fucking horse or whatever the fuck was going on."
My buddy went to University of Wisconsin.
Did he?
Matthew Steinberg, if you're familiar with him.
I don't.
Probably not. But he was good friends with Monte Ball. That didn't work out.
Wait, the friendship or Monte Ball's career?
Both.
Dude, when I showed up my freshman year, Monte Ball was on he was on buses. The dude was fucking everywhere. And then that year he went to the NFL after that year. And then he got cut by the Broncos.
Yes.
After, I think it was I was at a bar, so it must have been my junior year he was cut by the Broncos or whoever he was cut by.
Sounds about right.
Something like that. And I'm not kidding. It was like ESPN cut by the Broncos. The next Friday, he was at the local bars in Madison. And it was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I have a little inside scoop for you there, Jackie boy. What had happened was and it kind of touches on what you just said. He's a raging alcoholic.
Is he really?
Oh, yeah, and he was
Oh.
hammered every practice.
Are you kidding me?
Swear to God. And then the Pats tried to bring him in, but Belichick doesn't deal with that.
Deal with that bullshit. I didn't
He
know.
got
Wait,
cut
he
a
really
second
was?
later.
I've never heard this.
Raging alcoholic.
Really? Dude, I remember seeing him at Whiskey Saloon like literally 2 days after he was cut. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know. This looks weird. It just looks strange.
No, as a matter of fact, that was normal. As a matter of fact,
As a matter of fact, that's
that
how
was
he
the problem.
As a matter of fact, that was actually the core of the issue in a lot of ways.
All the fun he looked like he was having actually lost $20 million.
Dude, the other thing about Wisconsin running backs, they always think they're good. They all suck. The only reason they're good is because they're standing behind these fucking freaks from Wisconsin who just drink raw milk from the age of 3. So the entire offensive line is always amazing at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And all the running backs go to the NFL and just get their asses whooped.
Yes.
Dude, I know a guy, I'm not going to give details because this is actually like involves a kind of close friend of mine, but I knew someone who was hooking up with another Wisconsin running back. There's only like 4. So
guy?
You can narrow it down. No, it was a girl. It was one of my friends who was a girl.
Now that would have been spicy.
Yeah, no, that would have been real spicy.
Who did Jonathan Allen hook up with?
And this guy, so this girl, she was my friend. She was one of my friends. And this guy he was the running back at Wisconsin. He had graduated and he was now in the NFL. It wasn't Monte Ball.
I mean, there's only a finite
I
amount.
know, but I'm just going to.
All right, we're keeping it general.
I got it. But
there's an NDA in place.
Yeah, but my friend had been hooking up with him before he left.
Okay.
So now he's in the NFL, and I'm at the bar with her, and she's just like, "Oh my God, look what he just texted me." And she was wearing this like white blouse, and he had just texted her, "I'm gonna fuck you out of that white blouse." And it was when I realized, like, oh, if you're a college like NFL athlete,
Doesn't matter.
No game. You don't need anything.
You don't.
You can just say like, "Hey, like you're wearing a tie-dye shirt. I'm gonna rail you out of that tie-dye shirt," and it works. And that will go well.
I'm trying to think of like the mechanics of that.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know how you're gonna
Fuck you out of the blouse?
Dude. I just read it. I was like, that's the craziest sentence I've ever read. I'm gonna fuck you out of that white blouse.
Was at least the grammar correct?
No, I don't think so.
Nah, I would imagine not.
No, I think white was like WXIT 9. Just like a number at the
There's
end.
a number in the spelling. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
No,
to
and they
them.
also had they all had like penthouse apartments in Wisconsin. I used to feed the football players at my job because I worked at like restaurants in the town, and they all had like meal passes. They would all just like fuck their girlfriends like in the waiting room. I was like, these guys
in the waiting room.
Dude, that's why when there was like that whole debate about like college player compensation, I was like, yes, they all should get paid for their likenesses and stuff. And I'm like, at the same time, they're crushing it. They're having a great
They're doing
time.
pretty well.
They're doing pretty good. It's not like they're just like slumming it like the rest of us in college. They're all like living in they're living in like the dean's living room or whatever the fuck.
But that's the Wisconsin football team.
That is the Wisconsin football team.
How about like
what's
Wisconsin soccer
That's
doing?
true. I understand that I'm wrong in this argument. It is definitely like a deep-seated resentment from sophomore.
I was playing
year of
devil's
college
advocate.
Yeah, but it's fair.
No,
the
it's
Wisconsin
insane.
soccer game, soccer team. Did we have one?
I don't even know if they have one. I just came up with
I
a
know
sport.
we didn't have a baseball team.
They don't have a baseball.
We had no baseball team, but I think we did have a soccer team.
The hockey team's good.
Hockey team slapped.
And that's
Also-
a big deal.
And when I was in college, I was in college when our basketball team went to the Final Four.
Who was the point guard that was there for 20 years?
Sam something.
No, there is a Sam tall white kid.
It was white
Sam
card, and then there was
something.
Kuzminsky or Kuzmansky.
Yeah, he's on the Pacers. Or
Yeah,
something
he's still
now.
in the NBA. He's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
a tall guy with black hair whose dick I've seen because his dick pic went around my senior year.
Dick pic went around.
His dick pic went around.
How does that not go viral then? Like, how does that not make it?
You know what?
As someone in the news, where does the news stop?
I don't know. I almost feel like when I was in college, it was like I feel like it would have gone viral today. But it felt like, not that like Twitter wasn't around, it was, but like people kept it within it was like, we're going to spread this dick pic to everyone on campus.
On campus.
But if you send it anywhere else, how dare you?
Yeah.
There's
There's a code of ethics
There's
here.
a code, but if it leads the borders of Madison, Wisconsin, we would never do that. We're not monsters. But we're going to send it to literally everyone else around. And yeah, they did.
Interesting. What made you go
Fucking
to
up.
Wisconsin in the first place?
I just wanted to get the fuck out of Jersey. And like everyone in Jersey kind of does, because we don't have good. Our state schools are Rutgers. We got like
I went to Rutgers.
Rutgers is okay.
They got the fat sandwiches.
They do have fat sandwiches. The ones with like the chicken fingers and the French fries and all that shit.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Not that Rutgers is a bad school. It is a good school. It's just it depends. When you grow up like where I grew up, you don't want to move like 10 miles to New Brunswick, essentially.
Right, it's just not
like,
worth it.
Yeah, and like a lot of kids just like end up going out of state. So because of that, I knew kids who had gone to Wisconsin, and I just like visited there, and I was like, the city. I didn't have no idea what the fuck I wanted to do, but the city was sick, and I was like, no, I'll live here. This is fun.
Yeah, not a problem.
I can be a comm arts major here.
You were a comm arts major?
I was
communication arts.
Dude, I was a double major in comm arts and creative writing. Truly no direction.
Oh my god!
Truly
and your
no
parents
direction.
said nothing to
And
that?
truly no direction. I guess not. I had nothing. I was just like, whatever you guys are gonna let me do, I'll do it.
You did double the work for 2 nothing degrees.
I got a double major for doing an eighth of the work that my friends that had like 1 major in engineering did. And an eighth is being generous. I did nothing.
You did nothing.
And I kind of not that I did nothing, but I learned how to make shit up. I just made shit up. It's easy to get an A on an essay in an English major in college. You just say stupid shit, and the TA that has to read all these, if they just read something that's new, they'll give you a good grade for it.
Well, that is creative.
It is creative. Oh,
Bullshit
I definitely
is
learned
creative.
Dude, by my senior year, my bullshit level on college was beautiful.
That's truly what college.
Where I got straight A's my senior year of college from just dude.
You're a comm art.
I was
major,
exactly
you know?
that, but like I learned how to fucking just bullshit the whole thing. It was so easy. It was so much fun.
College really does teach you like hard work does not pay off.
No, not at all.
So just find a way around that,
Dude, all
and
my
be
like
personable.
All my like pre-med friends were like pulling their hair out and having like the hardest time of their lives, and I literally had an assignment that was like, make a comedy sketch. I'm like, okay, I'll do that. Sure. It was fun. I didn't need to do but I learned, there was shit I was exposed to. Like, I learned how to edit. That was fun.
Okay. Were you on like the news station?
No, there was just one editing class that was really underfunded. The thing about Madison also is that
really
like
underfunded.
all the comm arts buildings are still from the 70s because that Vietnam War thing apparently was like a huge deal. So all the buildings are designed to avoid being able to be blockaded by a student protest. So none of the buildings make any sense. Like there's no grid, there's nothing. It's just like random staircases and random rooms. So on the comm arts side of the campus and the English side of the campus, it's all these old buildings from the 70s that just have like Harry Potter fucking staircases everywhere.
Yeah.
And then you go down to engineering and it looks like you're in Star Trek. It's just like the nicest buildings in the world. And you're like, hey, we know who makes money here. Cool.
Well, at SUNY Cortland, all the buildings are from the 60s. And it's not because of protests. It's because they have no money. Yeah. I tried to take a biology course. So
How was SUNY Cortland? Did you like it?
In what context?
In the context of, was it 4 years that you enjoyed?
It was a good time.
It was a good time.
All the people I met and the rest of the alumni are not doing much.
I mean, to be fair, neither are my friends.
But University of Wisconsin, you got some people.
We got people.
Right. You know who's the most famous alum from Cortland?
Who?
The guy who punched Snooki.
Really?
Cortland guy.
Really?
Gym teacher. Not anymore. Fired. Lost tenure for that. Yeah.
I mean, I get why he got fired for that. But
that's the most
so
Jersey
funny.
response to that. He got fired for punching a woman?
Come on, he punched Snooki.
She took his shot.
Who the fuck did like detective evidence to figure out who that was at that time? Well, I guess
it was very easy to find out. Because you could see his face and hear his voice.
And also that moment where he just puts his license into the camera.
That part of it.
And just like shows him.
You're going to tell me, Frank Rizzo?
You're going to tell me, Tony Ibalacci, that I can't punch Snooki on the boardwalk?
Who is a gym teacher at PS 142?
Oh, dude, gym teachers in this area are fun. That's a fun group of people.
But you know that's the main export of SUNY Cortland.
Is that what the main export of SUNY Cortland is?
It's teachers as a whole, and then more specifically gym teachers.
It's mostly teachers?
Almost. It was a teacher college.
Oh, interesting.
And then it turned, and they're like, we should probably let other like types of people in. And then they're like, yeah, sure. But then like no one else went.
Somewhere.
They're like, but what else is there? Do you know what's a degree at Cortland?
What's that?
You could get a bachelor's degree in coaching.
What?
And I knew 3 people that did that.
Are you fucking kidding
I
me?
swear to Christ.
You can
I
get
know
a degree
3
in
people with a
coaching.
bachelor's degree in coaching. And guess what they're doing? Not working at Goldman
Are
Sachs.
they coaching at least?
One kid is.
Like a high school or something?
No, he's like a receivers coach, I think, at like SUNY Oswego or something.
What are you teaching? How long is those classes?
Well, there's an entire semester of just whistleblowing.
Are you fucking kidding? There's an entire semester of push-ups versus laps.
Yeah, there's a whole thing.
Push-up-
There's a course on how to pull your shorts up.
How to order pizza for the celebration dinners that's just shitty enough. Just to get like a good price, but not like the worst pizza you've ever had.
You got it.
Yeah, that's a good...
There's a course on how to teach a social studies class, but not actually put effort
Yeah.
in because you're the football coach.
The best partial zip-ups available for the right price. Like what just nice warm-up suits that you can wear also to your job or whatever the fuck. God, that's so fucking...
Those are my peers.
I mean, God bless. My peers are all just married in Wisconsin.
That's
kinda
fine.
Yeah, no, they're
These
happy.
people are married too.
Dude, they're happy, bro.
And I think that's what's important.
Yeah, dude. There was a lot of me that was like, when I was like 23, I was like, I'm gonna move to New York. I don't want to fucking just like settle down in fucking Wisconsin. And then now I look at them like they literally. I have friends who own farms. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like fucking crushing it. I have friends who own like 100 acres of land, and I'm just kind of like, I'm telling jokes in my like 1 bedroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the
That's
same
what my brother-
time, because I know people like that,
Yeah.
and it's great. You have all this land. What are you doing with it?
I don't know.
I don't understand this need for all this land when there's
Dude,
nothing
if you
to
don't
do.
get like an excessive amount of fulfillment from rising with the sun, I don't know what it does for you. Like unless you like really enjoy the sight of fireflies at night, like it's got to be a little tough. But I don't know. To me, I'm like, hey, but they're happy as fuck. Like it's
right.
cool.
Who am I to say
I got nothing, dude.
you're right? I'm
and I
right.
can't, dude. My friend just bought a farm. I can't wait to fucking visit that fucking farm. Like I'm so hyped to see his fucking farm.
But my buddy bought a house, and and his backyard is the high school football field.
See that I couldn't do.
And
at
he's
all.
like, dude, we're doing it this fall. Come to the backyard. We're gonna grill
Dude,
some
how do you-
steaks.
but how do you stare at your past for that consistent amount of time?
No, it's a different high school.
Oh, it's a different night.
Yeah, no, dude, it's
Oh,
fine.
that's totally fine. then.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I spend a good amount of time doing this specific thing. This is my hobby. Say like someone brings up a town. Like after this,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up Springfield,
Go ahead.
New Jersey on Zillow.
Okay.
I'm gonna see the high school affiliated with that house
Yeah.
on Zillow. I'm going to take that name, put it into YouTube, and put football team at the end. And I'm going to watch the football team's highlights.
Bro.
I spend a good amount of time doing that.
If you do that with my high school, it is going to be a shit show.
Oh, yeah?
My high school did not have a football team until I was in 8th grade.
What?
We had no football team.
Were you one of those high schools with 8th grade in the high school?
No. We were
Good.
freshman year through freshman year through senior.
Good.
But like what I said, like my high school in the 90s was regionalized, so like all the towns around us went to my high school. Then it got broken up. So by the time I went there, it was just Springfield, but the building was designed for 4 high schools. So we had like empty rooms, like a lot of empty rooms. There was like more space than was needed for the amount of kids we had. They just kept the building that they had when they had like 4 towns going there. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So-
I just don't understand why they didn't utilize. I guess I just don't understand why.
They kind of utilized them, but like it was like bigger than we needed.
Right.
But the football team went away when they broke up the high school. So for however many
didn't get
years,
into divorce?
we had no fucking football team. Then this guy, his name was Coach George, Joe George. You can Google him. He is in the
Joe George.
Joe George is in the National High School Hall of Fame for football. There's
a National High School Football Hall of Fame.
Yes, and it is a sad ceremony.
Where is it?
I have no fucking clue.
Okay, I'm gonna
but
have to
there's
look
a
that up.
lot of guys who are out of shape who go there every year. And they have really bad wings, I'd imagine. But like, dude, this dude he had won like, I don't even know how many national championships in high school at some like private school in Jersey.
Okay.
Like he had coached like Don Bosco or something.
Pretty good school.
Like he had done that. So then he decided he wanted to do a rebuilding project just for fun and came to our high school and started a football program.
Okay.
So my coach, I was on the football team in high school, was the most hardcore son of a bitch. This dude could have coached in the NFL, instead decided to start a program at my high school.
Right, it's grassroots.
It was fucking insane. Like, I would talk to kids at other high schools, and they're like, we're not doing half the shit you guys need to do. Like, we're showing up like 2 hours before school every day to work out. We're doing like camp. Like, we got like 2-a-days for like a month.
Yeah.
This guy was a fucking psychopath. So he did my 4 years. We were playing on a dirt field. We had no fucking football field. We played on like a back lot, essentially.
Okay.
So then he left, and I think the program completely fucking collapsed. So if you look up like Jonathan Dayton highlights, it's just like us playing on like dirt fields and then eventually getting a nice field and still sucking just as bad. You will see the weirdest fucking highlights you will ever see in your life.
And then the team just disintegrated.
Disintegrated when he left. I think they still have a team, but they're not. Like, we went to the playoffs my senior year. I don't think we've ever been back to the playoffs. It's been a complete shit show. And then he left, went to another school, and just won a national championship with like another private school. He just decided to, like,
private school.
Yeah, he like played with us for like 4 years. He was like, this is a fun little like pet project I could do and see what I can do with it.
Yeah.
And he was a psychopath. He used to make fun of me for being in band. It was so funny.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, Jackie's going off to play the saxophone. Just like, what the fuck?
Well, you have to know, in his eyes, you were gay.
Yeah, I was. No, 100%.
Like, that's exactly.
He was like, Jack's going off to dance with his saxophone. 100%.
Yeah.
That's what he thought. Yeah, he was just like, dude, Jack's gay. I'm like, oh, thanks, man. I play the Barry sax. I mean, it wasn't getting girls, so like, makes sense. I guess.
Barry sax.
Barry sax. I mean, who can resist those quarter notes? It turns out a lot of people.
It turns out everyone.
Turns out a pretty good amount of girls can resist consistent quarter notes at a graduation ceremony.
Yeah, there's a reason why Bill Clinton didn't play the barrel sax.
No, you would never have been elected.
No.
If he had played the Barry sax, you would have never heard the name Bill Clinton in your entire fucking life. Fucking ridiculous instrument. But that's what it did.
I did this football camp in Cheshire, Connecticut.
Damn. Okay.
With Troy University's football staff.
Okay.
And I remember we're walking on the field, like on the practice one day, and the coach was like, "What's that over there?" And we were looking. We're like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "That thing. What's going on over there?" We're like, "Oh, we'll know what you're pointing to." He's like, "There's a big thing in the field." We're like, "The soccer net?" He's like, "We don't have any of that gay shit in Alabama."
Are you fucking
I was
kidding
like,
me?
"Do you believe the entire planet is gay?"
I mean, he definitely thinks Europe's gay, just off the bat.
Oh, he definitely.
Like, there's no way that dude does not land in Paris and he's like, yeah, I can handle this.
Any any nation that has a language that ends in vowels,
Oh my god, dude!
it's like, not here.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Troy, Alabama.
They don't tuck their shirts into their fucking sweatpants. They don't have sweatpants. Dude, fucking dude would lose his mind. Dude, I knew so many guys in Jersey. Like, I would love to drop them off in just like Paris and see them.
They couldn't.
Like like a robot, just like trying to like when you ask a robot what God is, and it just like freaks out like that. Like them just like having like a complete short circuit and just like sparks coming out of their head.
Dude, when Dunkin' Donuts offers them a croissant sandwich, they can't understand it.
Dude, you know how gay they think croissants are?
Exclusively.
Just so they think croissants are the most flamboyant of all the pastries. Like, they can't, dude. If it's not a fucking hero or a sub sandwich,
They can't.
It's a gay bread. Like that is a gay pastry to them. Like they cannot handle that.
All the people outside the tri-state area don't understand how inanimate objects become gay.
No, they don't, dude. I've made the mistake of ordering strawberry ice cream at like Little League
You
dinners.
can't do that.
You
ordered strawberry ice
It
cream.
was ridiculous that I didn't order either mint chip or chocolate, and that's it.
Dude,
Like, that's crazy. that
I would be
did that.
5 years old. I ordered rainbow sprinkles, and my dad would be like, "Pfft,
Bro, dude, you can't do rainbow sprinkles.
Rainbow?
Dude. I listened to Jack Johnson. That was enough. I was like, no, dude, like anything you do that isn't like all the music in high school was just that one. All the music in high school was that one fucking Eminem song. Wasn't Eminem? What was the song that was like 20% power, 100% whatever the
No, that's
5% I'm a dick, 6% my jeans don't fit, 7% my dad drives an Escalade. I don't know
it's
what
the
fuck that
guy
was.
from Linkin Park, and I can't think of
Was
his.
it really?
Yeah,
Chester?
No, the other guy.
I don't have no idea. The other guy, the guy with the headphones on.
No, that's the guitarist.
There's another guy besides Chester.
Yeah, what the fuck is it called? That's real. It's really gonna bother me.
I have no idea. But that
Fort
song-
Minor.
What? I've never heard. Wow.
Fort
Jesus
Minor
Christ.
was the one that did it,
God damn.
and that was his rap name off of Lincoln
off
Park.
of Lincoln Park, and he was 20% power, 100%.
15% concentrated power,
50%.
well, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
Only paid 20% on rent. Only paid 5%, whatever the rest of the song was. But dude, that song was fucking everywhere.
Everywhere.
When you're on a football team or any sports team in 2011, that fucking song was all over the goddamn
And
place.
Cinderella Man by Eminem was big.
That's big.
That year.
Dude, we had on my baseball team, we had one of the dads was the DJ for the team. So like one of the
I'm sorry?
Yeah, so we had one of the Italian dads.
You didn't have to say that. That's redundant.
I know, that was already there. Sorry. The sky is also blue. But like this guy, well, he was he was the DJ for the team. So he would set up his son was like a really good player who, and I only say that condescendingly because he took my fucking spot on the team. But whatever. It's okay. I sat on the bench and ate candy for 2 years. It was fun.
It's not bad.
It was nice. But this dude set up like a fucking like full DJ set, like behind the backstop, and he asked us all for walk-up songs. And he would do walk-up songs. And everyone's was like 20% power, 100%, whatever the fuck.
He just kept playing the same song?
But everyone just requested that song. And then like a couple other songs. Like there was probably like a couple like... it was just all like really shitty rap music from that time. That was the walk-up song. And then he asked me what he wanted my walk-up song to be. And I never, and I emphasize, never played. So I never walked up to plate. But he still had to ask me.
But what was the song?
I told him I wanted either Tiny Dancer or Piano Man.
No.
Just to fuck with it.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Okay, to fuck with him.
Yes, I did. Because I was like, I'm like, if I ever get up to bat, I want to come up to Piano Man. I thought that'd be so fucking funny. And I got up once the whole goddamn season, and as I'm walking up, it goes 20% power, 100%.
No!
And I was like, you fuckface. You wouldn't even stand by the job that you shouldn't have because you're a 45-year-old fucking man. You won't even give me the song I requested.
You're like, a volunteer
I
DJ.
fucking wrote very clearly, Piano Man, if you don't have it, Tiny Dancer. And he wouldn't fucking do it. And I was like, you motherfucker. And then I struck out and went back to the
I wouldn't have even
and
gone
then
up.
went to college. That was the series, and that was the series of events. It was fucking... I was so pissed off that they didn't play Piano Man because I was like, God damn it, that's the one thing I had on this goddamn team.
A father with his own DJ equipment. That's so fucking Jersey
It's
trash.
the most... yeah, dude, it
That's
really
so
is.
instinctually Jersey trash.
Dude, Jersey dads love to hang out with the coaches at practice. That is like a huge Jersey dad move. Stand next to the coach at practice and whatever...
At practice they'll do that? That's invasive.
Fuck yeah. Because they also all are in like catering or restaurant. If they're not in catering or restaurant industry, they're in landscaping. So either way, you have a service to offer. So every dad who would stand next to the coach either brought like pizza to the dinner for free or like would mow the goddamn practice field or whatever the fuck.
Really?
So that he could get closer to the coach and stay at practice and his son would play more.
That
happened a lot.
Because I grew up in a very wealthy town. Yeah. I didn't have any money, but everyone else did. This was not a thing that happened.
Oh, bro.
We had a guy that he was embezzling money, and a way to like throw the government off the sense. Yeah. He bought us all jumpsuits, like Nike professional grade jumpsuits, and we were like, this is amazing. Why did we get this? He's like, I wanted to treat the team. Little did we know he was actually getting this from fucking Venezuela. And he's like, I can't have all of it.
Your team was a money laundering operation.
I still got the pants somewhere.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that's so fucking funny.
But they built it to our, like, it was custom to each player.
Yeah.
So back in high school when I weighed a quarter ton, it's now like 3X pants. So now I'm walking around like I went to high school in 1992.
See, I don't fit it. I think I still have my varsity jacket. My varsity jacket was fucked up because I was on the football team my first 2 years of high school and then the marching band my last 2 years of high school.
I'm sorry?
Which is a big switch to make.
Big switch.
A huge switch. So I went from being on, and the marching band, small school, 15 kids in it. Not an impressive like drumline Nick Cannon marching band. Like
Jack, nothing about you says Nick
a lot
Cannon
of people mistake me
line.
for Nick Cannon a lot, and I just have to. That's why I preface it a lot of the time.
You are equally as
Look,
anti-Semitic.
dog, we had like 15 people. I was Barry Sachs. We only had one song, which was "One Nation Army" is the only song, or "Seven Nation Army" was the only song we fucking
pretty
played.
Cool though.
Pretty cool, and I was the bass line. I was the entire bass section, so I got to do the dun 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 dun. That was all me.
The baritone sax was the bass.
We had that. That's why I had to play baritone sax. We had no bass section.
You had no tuba.
We had no tuba.
What kind of marching band are you with no tuba?
We weren't a good marching band.
Well, you barely
we
marched.
We were fucking horrible. We couldn't march. But the problem was my junior year, they gave us like kind of shitty polos to wear because they were like, look, you guys are kind of like a half-ass marching band. Just play the fucking national anthem and you'll be good. Senior year, they gave us full-fledged marching band outfits. With the hat and the feather and the fucking buttons and all that shit. And there was 11 of us. It was the most absurd-looking thing you have ever fucking seen.
So I just want to clarify. You were in the marching band with the feather on your hat, and you requested Tiny Dancer to be your walk-up song for baseball.
Yes, those things were happening simultaneously.
You would not be allowed to sleep in my house. If that's what happened.
A lot of my friends' dads' houses wouldn't let me sleep in them.
It won't even let you inside.
Dude, once I go with the football team, that was like quitting a cult when I was like a sophomore in high school. If you quit the football team, that was like, how fucking dare you?
Well, but I guess with 100 kids in your school, there must have been some overlap, but like,
well, because
the social circles are so different.
I was a big kid. Like I was a fat kid. So like they picked me out and they're like, you're a lineman and there's no choice. Like it was just like I was kind of, when you have 100 kids in the school, it's like you look like a lineman, you're on the team.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it was. There was no tryouts. And then I lost like a little bit of weight and they were like, well, you can't be a lineman anymore. You're useless to us. And I was like, oh, cool.
Well, that's why you stopped playing?
I stopped because A, I really wanted to, and B, I did lose like 10 pounds and my coach was like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, I don't want to. I'm sad.
putting my health
you make
as a
me
priority.
Sad. All of this makes me sad. I think I'm gonna go like just do other shit. I think I'm gonna go like not work out before high school. I think I'm gonna go like just be a teenager. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna go smoke weed in the woods.
That's exactly what I did. I think I'm gonna go like play Seven Nation Army on the fucking baritone saxophone, and then we'll get high on the school bus on the way home. And just like I went from like jock to dazed and confused in like 6 months, and it was sick.
What a 15-person marching band. I know you didn't do the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
No, we weren't.
So what
up for that.
events were you doing?
The football games. I think it was just the football games, and we did graduation. And then we had our competitions at Six Flags.
Oh, that's cool.
That's all we did. We did the football games, we did graduation, and then every year we did this like competition at Six Flags where we always won the sportsmanship trophy in marching band. We were very bad. They have sportsmanship trophies for marching band. They're which we never talked to anybody. We just won it because they needed to give us something. So we'd go to Six Flags, ride all the rides, be stupid as fuck, and then get the sportsmanship trophy in a marching band competition.
Good, which is not a sport.
No, not at all.
To my knowledge.
Nothing. No. And it was in an arena full of kids who none of us are athletes. Like none of us are.
Right.
And we're just winning the sportsmanship award. And we're like, we'll take this. Thanks, guys. Whatever. Six Flags was sick, dude. Those trips were
King
awesome.
Ka?
Oh, King Ka?
Yeah.
Dude, when King Ka was fresh, too. This was like King Ka out the box.
Fresh.
When like no one even knew what, like it was like the biggest roller coaster in the fucking universe, whatever the fuck it was.
This isn't a gay roller coaster. It's the biggest
Are
in the
you
world.
on steroids? Because you're about to be. And then like go on King Ka. It was fucking. You want a girlfriend? She's on the other side of King Ka.
Yeah.
And like King Ka was, King Ka. Have you been on King Ka?
No, I'm petrified of roller coasters.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. I'm not a thrills guy.
I'm usually not. I guess I haven't been on a roller coaster though since I was like 19. So maybe I don't know if I like it.
Oh, do a
anymore.
log flume.
A log flume's nice.
I like a log
See,
flume.
I trust water slides way less. Like, I do not trust water slides. I do trust roller coasters.
Oh, I'm the opposite.
Really?
I put a lot
Water
of
slides
faith
feels
into
like there's
water
a
slides.
lot of variables there. It's just water on a tube. Like, you can't control that shit.
Yeah, but
That feels like that's like elements of nature. You know what I mean?
But as two heavy kids, what you have to remember is as long as you put your center of gravity in the middle of that slide,
Oh.
you were safe.
I have a traumatic fucking memory. There's a place in Long Island. You might have been Splish Splash. Splish Splash.
Nelly.
Splish Splash. The mecca of the Long Island.
That
water
is
slide
where, if you want to see white trash.
Oh, man.
Not even white trash.
Bro.
It's trash.
If you want to
Of
see
all
tattoos
shades.
on legs that don't look good, you want to go to Splish Splash, bro.
If you want, it's like spider tattoos on
Yeah,
top of
dude,
varicose
if you want-
veins.
if
It's very. It's like they're in on it.
Dude, if you want a white guy with a tribal tattoo way too far up on his thigh, go to Splish Splash.
Yeah.
And like Splish Splash is fucked up. And I don't remember what fucking slide it was. But I did one where it was like it's just your body and you're laying down.
Yes.
And you're going down. And
Yep.
I was fat. So I had a lot of back fat at the time.
Yes.
And the slides are put together in segments. And as I was going down the slide, my back fat got stuck in one of the cracks somehow.
What?
And it hurt. It didn't like rip. It didn't rip, but it got stuck like as I was going down the slide, and it hurt like a motherfucker.
What?
I got pinched by the water slide by my back fat going into the segment in between the segments, or the crack in between the segments of the slides. Bro, it scarred me for the rest of my life on water slides.
That's a new level of fat.
That's a big.
Someone,
dude, it is
whose body was 50% fat at one time. That is another ascension of fat.
It is any kind of creek and crevice, my fat will find it.
You just
and it will make
in.
a home there. Yeah. and I just remember the feeling of that pinch, and I never could do it again.
Oh, you never did a water slide.
I can do it with tubes. I've never done the like lay down shirt off. Like if I'm on a tube, God bless. But if I'm like just like my body against the slide, not my thing. I don't think I trust that. Also, I'm pretty sure like 2 people died at Splish Splash every year. They had one that was, I forget what it was called, but I know someone died on it when I was growing up.
It's very possible.
Because when you're a kid, that becomes like, you gotta do it. Like if someone dies on a water slide, it's like, bro, you have to do that. And I remember my cousins being like, yo, someone died on that. I'm about to crush it.
Yeah, but what you have to remember with Splish Splash is, could they have died on the water slide? Yes. Was it a fentanyl-related death? Maybe.
How much did it lower their lifespan by? Not a lot.
Right.
It was either going to be that or the churros. like whichever one it was going to be that.
They did die on the water slide. It's just the water slide wasn't the problem.
They died a long time before the water slide.
Right.
The water slide was just like kind of, at that point, it was just momentum that happened. Like whoever they were died long ago.
Also, Splish Splash it's like there could be people without children there.
100%.
Like that's a place people go when they have time.
Dude, I haven't been to Splish Splash. I want to go back so bad and just to see, because as a kid it was like Shangri-La, and like I fucking loved Splish Splash.
Yeah,
and I want to go back. I want to go back now and see what the fuck. Because my dad, who's from Jersey, hated Splish Splash.
Why did you go?
Because my mom's from Long Island.
Where's your mom from?
Comac.
Yeah.
So my mom's from Comac.
That's not great. It's not great.
It's not.
It's not bad, but
it's not bad,
great.
but it's not great. To be honest, it's very much the equivalent to my town in New Jersey. Like that's why it never was too much of a. It was very much like they were the equivalents. And like, so we would visit my cousins and stuff who all lived in Comac, and then we'd go to Splish Splash. And that's Splish Splash. We weren't the Jersey family who was like, have you guys heard about this place in Long Island called Splish Splash? And took like long family trips to Splish Splash. That'd be fun though. That'd be hilarious if that's what we did.
Well, when I was growing up, we would spend a few days in Lake George, New York.
Yeah, been to Lake. Dude,
you've been to Lake George?
Fucking vacation.
Yeah, because we're both fucking garbage.
Because we're garbage from the East Coast.
Yeah,
and this is where you go on vacation.
Did you go to Water Slide World?
Oh, I don't think I did. I think
you
we
would remember.
I don't think I did. No, I just
remember.
remember. I think Lake George, we stuck to the lake.
Oh, say we
kind
were
of chilled
lake
around
people.
the lake. We were lake people. I mean, that's the only lake vacation we ever took.
No, we were more
lake
buffet people.
But dude, I was
and
a
then
buffet
did things
person.
around the buffets.
Dude, we did. We took a couple. We went on Carnival cruises when we were younger. Which bro,
what?
Bro, at Carnival Cruises, if you want to be a fat kid in 2005. Carnival Cruises is the place to goddamn be. It is just buffets and free ice cream. And that's all you do for a week. You just eat buffets and free ice cream around, again, human trash. Everyone there, in hindsight, is human fucking garbage. Same with Splish Splash. All the places I look back fondly, you're right, are just the worst places on earth. I don't think I could do it today, but I want to see. I want to see if I can tap back into that joy and like enjoy those places again.
I think it's whatever the opposite of PTSD is. If we were to go back,
it's like Stockholm syndrome with theme parks.
Yeah. Like there's times that I do have a craving for Dippin' Dots.
Oh, dude.
You remember Dippin' Dots?
Every time I go to Yankee Stadium, I still want to get a Dippin' Dot.
It's such a great concept, but such a terrible product.
It was hot. And when we were kids, Dippin' Dots, remember you were like, oh, wait, who needs ice cream anymore? It was like the future of ice cream was Dippin' Dots.
Yep.
And then we all just kind of got over it. Like Dippin' Dots just went away.
Not all of us.
Do they still have
I'm
them?
still in.
Are you still in your freezer? It's just all Dippin' Dots?
Yeah, have you not what?
Dude, Dippin' Dots were the fucking shit. God, I love Dippin'
I
Dots.
remember my dad being like, "Why don't you just get regular ice cream?" I was like, "Listen, boomer,
Because they're fucking Dippin' Dots.
this is the ice cream of the future."
Because I'm eating them out of Derek Jeter's hat, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you dumb
That's,
bitch.
you dumb bitch. That's how I'm eating the fucking Dippin' Dots. Because they're fucking, it's ice cream, but in little tubes, like Star Trek ice cream, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Does it taste good? No.
No.
But
Does
it's
the texture feel
different.
weird? Yes. But I'm going to eat it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm a kid. I'm more into gimmicks with my food. I don't give a shit what's going in my body. I eat ring pops. I eat everything that is just a gimmick.
Ring pops were such a wild idea.
Oh, but
and what
ring
a
pops were
success.
so sick.
What a success
Dude,
they
an
were.
have you ever looked at an airhead?
It doesn't make any sense.
What is it? Who knows what the fuck that is? And just shove it down your throat. It was the best thing in the world.
It was blue a way blue shouldn't be blue.
It was, but you know what I respect about airheads? Every color looked exactly the same, just a different color. They didn't give a fuck. It was
That
just
is true.
It was just the same texture, pretty much the same taste. They're like, hey, have this science experiment at your local community pool and see what happens. And that's kind of what Airhead's pitch was.
You went to your community pool?
Not only did I go, I worked there for 6 years, bro.
Hey, yo!
Bro, I worked at the snack shack at the Springfield Community Pool from age 15 to 21.
Yo, that's too
Every
long of a
summer.
time to work at the community pool.
Way too long, dude. Way too long.
Did you collect the pension from there?
No, but I had great times at that community, dude. Because I had every person who took over the community pool, like our staff would stay the same, but the person who would take over the snack shack, it was always a catering company, and they were ready to revolutionize the way pools
Got
served
chicken
food.
fingers.
The first guy who owned us, he owns a place called the Bayway Diner, and it was called Bayway Catering. He's the first episode ever of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives.
No way.
That's who he is, Michael Bayway, and he was my first boss.
His name is Bayway?
His name is Michael Bayway. He owned the Bayway Diner, and Guy Fieri was like at his wedding. They were like friends now,
What?
or whatever the fuck. So he was my first boss. My second boss was some psychopath. My third boss was this woman named Christine, who I will never forget to this day. I love Christine. I worked with her for like 4 years every summer. She was the craziest deadhead, like sold me weed as payment. Like
Yeah, she was an adult working at a...
yeah, but she
Cool
had a
snack
catering company.
stand.
She was a hell of a fucking chef, and this woman, she was kind of out of her mind, but she taught me more about life than I could have ever fucking had. She like dated wizards and shit. Like the
What?
story, it was like being in high school and like college, and you're from like suburban New Jersey, and she was this like window into like gypsy culture, essentially.
Right, what you don't want to be.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. But like dude, it was so, I remember the first time I ever did acid, I went to her and I was like, "Is it going to be okay?" And she was like, "I did acid every day this week. It's going to be fine." And I was like, "Hell yeah." And this is the woman I spent like 10 hours a day with, like every day for like it probably changed who I was as a person fundamentally. Christine was the fucking best. Oh my god, I had so much, like, and all the parents would be like, "We smell weed coming from the snack shack. Is that happening?" And she'd be like, "No." And she was chiefing the entire fucking time.
If you're going to a community pool and it smells like weed,
Yeah.
it's because there's weed there.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
a
not
community pool.
Yeah, it's not like the chlorine has a new phase to it or whatever the fuck.
Right.
Bro, it was like living in a Dead concert in the middle of a community pool. That's essentially where I worked
I think
for
it's
like
just
every
a snack
it
shop.
is
At a
kinda-
community.
it
Yeah,
is sometimes, yeah.
This is a country
But
club.
dude, if I tell you, I served 2 million airheads. That's all I served.
That was
Airheads.
big?
Huge. Kids love fucking
Really?
airheads. All the kids liked was airheads. I served airheads all day long.
Let me ask you this,
Go ahead.
because I was a big community pool kid.
Yeah.
I never understood why someone would get nachos during a hot summer's day.
That's a great point.
Was that a popular option?
Yeah, it was.
That's unfortunate.
See, but even as a fat kid, you didn't get that. Because I look back on
I
some
got
of
it by
my
taste.
But I look back on like some of my food choices when I was young. I just didn't give a fuck. 'Cause
Well, of course.
but it would be like August at 1 p.m., 92 degrees, and I was getting a double baconator at Wendy's, and
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
shoveling that shit down.
I use chicken fingers as snacks.
There we go.
The entree.
There we
with
go.
the fries.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's the thing. I just think the kids don't give a fuck when you're that age. Like you can have nachos on a hot day, and like you're good.
But as a fat kid, I would avoid hot foods during hot situations because of the sweat.
Interesting.
Yes. I also only wore black. You would think I went to a
That
funeral every day.
indicates you had shame. Did you have shame as a fat kid? Because I had none. I was proud of.
I
being a
have
fat kid.
shame to this day.
Oh, bro, I was when I envy because I have shame now. But when I was a fat kid, like when you have no other option, like when you've always just been fat and that is what you are, I leaned into it so fucking hard. I didn't give a shit. Like all my friends would go hook up with girls, and I'd be eating like a rack of ribs and being like, I'm killing it right now.
No, I wore in 8th grade. I wore a shirt that said "I beat anorexia."
Wait, how did you get that shirt in 8th grade?
T-shirthell.com. My aunt bought it for me. She was also very fat.
Yeah.
And I wore it to school, and I was paraded around like the county hog.
Are you kidding me?
I would have teachers I never met before come into my classroom and be like, "Excuse me, can I pull Richard out of class for a minute?" And would bring me to other classrooms. That was my first tour.
That was your first road gig.
That's my first road gig.
And just like having that T-shirt on?
I just walked into the room and they'd be like, "Oh my God, that's hilarious."
That's so fucking funny that he beat anorexia. Dude, because we grew up when fat was still funny.
It was like the last time.
It was
for
like that. It was that last like Galifianakis era where fat can still be funny.
Yep.
And fat was fucking funny, dude.
Dude, it
hit, dude. Just doing like a cannonball at a 4th of July party, I've never crushed harder.
I got a good amount of morning announcement gigs from that.
Did you really?
I did.
I also did morning announcements.
Did you?
Yep.
Did you do skits and they put them on the TV?
I did skits and then I got kicked off morning announcements because I wasn't allowed to do skits.
Okay.
But like I did do. Me and my friend Tevin. Dude, this kid Tevin, who I went to high school with, who is now like writing scripts for Marvel and LA. He's the most successful person out of my high school.
Gay.
Dude, it's so gay. Tevin, I love you, but so gay, bro.
Yeah.
But he would work in the control room and he would let me do whatever I wanted until the teacher literally unplugged the fucking wall. But I would just fuck around on morning announcements. It was so much fun.
No, I bought into big morning announcement. I was
Really?
like corporate. I was very.
Oh, you were corporate,
morning
so you were very
announcement.
much like, and today we're going to have a fundraiser for the softball team outside a shop, right? Bring your cans.
No, like every club would come to me and they're like, "Here's the idea. I need a script around."
Oh, they would
the
pitch
idea."
you.
They would pitch me.
Oh, I was just the mouthpiece. No one pitched me.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure some of them are still on Facebook.
Are
some
you
of
fucking
the commercials?
kidding
Yeah,
Dude, that's fucking
that was a good time. I was wearing an Affliction T-shirt in one of them.
Were you? Were you
I
an
was-
Affliction guy?
Big.
Big? Were you a Affliction?
Big.
How big was your Affliction Ed Hardy Venn diagram?
Zero Ed Hardy.
There was no Ed Hardy. Interesting, because that was the PB&J at that time.
Because what you have to remember is I thought I was like an MMA guy.
Did you really?
I did for like a year.
Interesting.
I was big into it.
Were you really?
Uh-huh.
And that's like Chuck Liddell MMA.
It was like right at the end of Chuck Liddell. Anderson Silva was huge.
Okay.
Yeah, that time. Rampage
Wow.
Jackson wore lugs.
Wow.
He was sponsored by lugs.
You were the Rampage Jackson guy?
I was big Rampage Jackson
Whoa.
guy.
Dude, I was so scared of MMA when I was in high school. And now I'm a huge MMA fan.
My buddy runs the podcast for ESPN.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's gonna have Rogan and.
Are you fucking kidding
at
me?
his, I don't know if Rogan's
Are you
gonna be
still
at the
an
wedding.
MMA guy?
Because my buddies, like
Okay.
him and his fiance, they run all of ESPN MMA.
Oh, shit.
She directs the live events and he does the podcast.
Dude, see, I had a fucked up path where, like, I was scared of MMA in high school because all the kids who were into it beat me up. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this. And then in college is when Conor McGregor was coming up. And I was
Yes.
like, oh, a ginger kicking ass. I can handle that because I was like, that's like me doing it. And then I got legit into it, and now it's like my favorite sport. And it's the weirdest thing. To
I
be
get
like,
it.
Dude, there's a UFC fight tomorrow. I have $30 on. Like, I fucking like.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I saw that.
Hey, you don't need to be. No one is. It's a sport that's, and I've talked to other people. We all just show up to the bars where it's playing, and all of us are in the same position where we can't get anyone in our lives to be into it with us. So we all stand at the bars together and become best friends for 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then watch it together, and then dip. And then we'll see them again in like 2 months or whenever the fuck we want to watch
Right.
the next MMA fight.
I went to my buddy did his bachelor party for the McGregor fight last summer in Vegas,
Really?
and I didn't go because it was $1,500 a ticket.
Yeah, well, that'd be yeah, I wouldn't go either.
But we
Jesus
were staying at
Christ.
the hotel where like a lot of celebrities were staying. I
Yeah.
would just walk around the floor hammered. I'd be like, "Hey, you Charles Barkley?" He'd be like, "Yeah." Be like, "That's fucking sick, man." All right. I saw Chappelle. I was like, "You fucking Chappelle?"
You fucking
And they're
Chappelle?
like, "Yeah, man." I was like,
Did you really?
"That's
You
fucking
saw
sick."
Chappelle?
I saw him in Mamafuku.
You saw him in
They had a
where?
Mamafuku in the
Oh, okay,
hotel,
okay,
and I was
okay.
like, "You're fucking Dave
You're
Chappelle."
And did he
He's
say-
like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "That's fucking sick."
That's fucking dope. That's fucking dope.
I think he was also hammered. Like everyone was like, "All right."
Yeah,
I was like, I do late night at the comic strip.
I live amongst your legacy all the time.
Yeah, I was like, you know You know Mark Norman? He's on a few shows I produce.
With your eyes just completely fucking closed.
Yeah, like I don't know any
Dude,
of that,
I've
man.
never had a
Like,
successful like celebrity interaction. I don't think. No, yeah, not once. I interned at the Daily Show when I was in college, and I met
that's
Jon
cool.
Stewart, but he never said anything to me once.
He's a Jersey kid.
He is a Jersey kid, short too,
Is he short?
real short.
He played soccer at William and Mary.
Yeah, he did. I knew that. It's fucking. I don't know. Whatever. That was my one successful one.
And his name's not Stewart.
No, it's it's Leibowitz, I think.
Yeah, I think it is
John
Leibowitz.
Leibowitz. Yeah. I just remember he dressed really shitty, and I'm like, you make so much
Really?
money. Well, like when he wasn't in the suit for the show, he was always in like a really raggedy T-shirt, and I was like, you make so much fucking money.
It's usually those guys though. Sandler,
Sandler, Zuck, even Zuck, dude.
Zuck,
Looks like shit, bro.
the Jews.
It's the shit. At the end of the day, we can narrow it down to religion. At the end of the day, we can narrow it down to their like specific ethnicity.
Right. If we learned anything from the three people we mentioned
Look, at the
that
end
are
of the
rich
day-
and dress
and
shitty,
once again, it's the Jews. The Family Feud #1 answer: whose fault is it? It's the Jews. There we go. Fucking.
the whole Holocaust was based off. You notice something about the Jews? They have all this money. They never dress well.
Another one. It's like. Hey, if they're controlling the economy, are they not controlling the part with T-shirts? Are they not controlling the part with button-downs?
Right.
Are they not?
Kind of throws a wrench into their logic. Like if they control the weather, wouldn't you think they dress appropriately?
Wouldn't you think they know how to have a hoodie that doesn't look like it evaporated in 1984? Like they might be able to figure that out.
They're doing all right. Oh, we went over.
We're
a good
over?
amount.
Okay. Shit.
We'll end it on the anti-Semitic stuff.
All right, cool. Rich, thanks for having me, dude.
Jack,
This was fun.
this was fantastic.
Awesome, dude. Thank you.
It's always great to have more people on that do great. You, Metcalf, Hardy. This is great.
Thank you, dude.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Adios.